and perhaps the heat has dissuaded some from making their way through to this particular venue, but there's still a strong presence from both sets of fans inside the stadium for this afternoon's derby, as we say a big hello to what is an interesting, intriguing fixture here between two sides who are enjoying contrasting form. This is the 45th PSL era clash between Swallows and Chiefs in the top flight, a match that historically has been dominated by Amakhosi, but since Swallows returned to the premiership, there has been precious little to separate them. 6 meetings, 2 wins apiece and 2 draws. And we are expecting today another fairly tight contest. The current form most certainly favors the Dube Birds. They haven't beaten in their last 5 league games. In fact, they've lost just 1 of their last 8 in the DStv Premiership. Kaizer Chiefs, however, have suffered 3 losses in their last 4 league outings, 4 losses in their last 5 in all competitions. They really need to turn the corner. The international break came at exactly the right time. They were able to digest their defeat to Orlando Pirates with this 2-week break. And they've really made several changes to the side that line up this afternoon, which we'll introduce you to shortly after looking at the hosts first. Swallows actually have 2 players returning from suspension for today's game. So Gabriel Mahango and Linda Charlie did sit out against Polokwane City a fortnight ago after accumulation of yellow cards, but they're available for the derby. They slot straight back into the 11. Tabang Maponya, who earned his first Swallows start against Rise and Shine, is back on the bench. Kagiso Malinga is the other player to make way. 5 changes for Chiefs from the 11 that started against Pirates. Kune is out. Bruce Boomer starts for the first time in 13 months. Dolly and Detlokwe are injured. Kunika and Castillo dropped to the bench. It's the first time this season that the Venezuelan doesn't start in the DStv Prem. Coming in are Sfiso Tlanti, Reef Frosler in defense, whilst Pulimodi and Christian Saile are installed a little further up the field for Amakhosi this afternoon. So, quick team photograph for posterity for the Dube Birds, who are looking to continue what has been a really excellent run for them. Brian Mata is alongside me for this match, and perhaps it's unsurprising to have seen so many changes for Kaizer Chiefs, especially considering that this is the longest uninterrupted period that Kevin Johnson would have got to work with his team, as we let you know who will be in charge of this match. Amongidi Tom, assisted by Oscar Totsetsi and Tabo Twaise. Mokoena is our 4th official for today. Brian, the formations.
Well, when you look at Swallows, the key strength should be Sibia and Alan's combination defensively. But they've got the influence of Lanchene Palan and Andy Lejali to pull the strings. Of course, don't ignore that man on the right-hand side, Ntsako Makubela. The strength of Mabaso in the box, Kabadinho Mango making runs around him, that could prove to be lethal. And the strength that Swallows has up front. For Chiefs, it's all about the tried and tested. Dobe Warmer so far settling alongside Simango. It's Mtetwa that plays more the holding role, that allows Ngobo to move forward, to play alongside, of course, Modi, to supply Saile and Chivaviro, who are going to lead that front line.
And now we observe a moment of silence. A very sad passing of former Orlando Pirates captain, Papi Kumane. Word that just reached us, an unbelievable loss. May his soul rest in peace. Brian, I'd be remiss if I didn't allow you to share your sentiments on what is very, very sad news. Papi Kumane passing in a car accident this weekend.
I'm lost for words. I know the family, the father, the entire family. I'm lost for him. May his soul rest in peace. Great footballer, great human being. Very emotional for me.
Well, as we all try and digest that, we start on perhaps a little bit of a somber note, but we have to turn our attention back to the Soweto derby at hand. And last season, this match produced 2 away wins. Kaizer Chiefs grabbed a 2-1 victory in Dobsonville. That was just over a year ago. But the most recent meeting between these two sides, Chiefs hosted Swallows in Polokwane as we get up and running here. And it was a win that day for Swallows, then under the tutelage of Musa Nyatama as interim coach, a 2-1 win that saw them preserve their top flight status. And we might not even have reached the halfway point of this season, but this time around, it's Kaizer Chiefs who are languishing in the bottom half of the table as they clash again.
Kabadinho Mango makes a run, looks at the assistants on the far side. He knows he had peeled off early. Steve Compello said they are confident enough to build from the back, but I think as they build from the back, they'll be aware or looking for the runs from Kabadinho Mango and Tsehofatso Mabasa, who's so far been in fine form. He's the man that you're talking about. Great footballer in his day, and the man who was a hard tackler, Steve Compella. Was lucky to play alongside him at Kaizer Chiefs. Played against him at Free State Stars.
A former player and coach for Kaizer Chiefs is in charge of the Zamokosi side for 3 seasons. He oversaw in excess of 100 games. And in the 4 or so years since he departed the club, he's come face to face with them as a sole head coach on 4 occasions, and he's yet to win. 2 draws, 2 defeats. Of course, that's not including his time at Mamelodi Sundowns, where he was a senior coach. But 2018 drew 2-2 with the Kaizer Chiefs, then in charge of Bloemfontein Celtic, and 3 matches he played against Chiefs as the coach of Lamontville Golden Arrows. Drew 1-1, lost 1-0, and most recently lost 2-0.
I think he thrives on this sort of projects. Remember when he took over at Bloemfontein Celtic, Steve Compella. Things were tough for Celtic, got the players to focus on the 4 lines that he mentioned. He says, focus on what happens, those 4 lines, and you'll enjoy your football. And they definitely did.
Yep.
Golden Arrows and Takumakowela gets to be reunited with Steve Compella. And so far so good for Steve Coach Steve at Swallows.
Well, there is a concern at the moment for Wakubela, and he sat out the previous league game against Polokwane City after an accumulation of yellow cards, but prior to that he had started all 9 league games for Swallows, so an important player for them. Those who arrived early got a space on the shaded grandstand here at the Dobsonville Stadium. And the grandstand is packed to capacity. Most are reluctant to find a spot in the bright sunlight. It has been a toasty few days in the Gauteng province, and I think around the country, and that's to put it lightly.
Overly toasty. More than anything.
There's Reef Frosler. Didn't make the starting lineup for the Soweto derby. Konika preferred to him. Now, this is good work from Kabadinho Mango to get away initially from Spongzeni Mtetwa. Kaizer Chiefs have the ball back in their possession. This is Pule Mori. Sfiso Hlanti. Now Mori again. Taking on Phillips. And the ball across. Fended away by Vusi Sabia. Only as far as Pule Mori, as it's scooped in once again by Hlanti. Here's another that is back in the lineup for today, and that means Edmilson Dove is redeployed as a centre half for this afternoon's clash, with Titi Tlokwe out at the moment. The Botswana captain, was on national team duty. Played against Mozambique in a defeat they suffered, and then came off injured against Guinea. So he will be a big miss, because Ditlokwe had, prior to today, started every single league match for Kaizer Chiefs. A block tackle from Rui Frosler, and then Mtetwa break. Well, was on national team duty. Played against Mozambique in a defeat from Rui Frosler.
This is
redeployed as a centre half for the
seconds late. In the midfield, unsettle them, Mazulu.
One goal in the league against Kaizer Chiefs previously. First time this season. The last time he played was October last year in a draw against TS Galaxy. And Mahango goes for it. Not a bad effort at all.
Not at all. Technique-wise, spot on. Perhaps a little bit more color to it. But if it was on target, I don't see how the goalkeeper would have gotten to the end of that. Does it hit the crossbar? Yes, it does. That's how close it was. Good technique, Mahango. Now, we had great conversation lunchtime. At some point we'll get to talk about it. The wisdom of Kumlan Msibi. And great conversation lunchtime. You didn't miss out, Grant, because you were part of that.
Nice little touch from Chivaviro, and Pule Modi keeps it moving. Here's Frosler. Delivers into the area, away by Kegan Allen, whose last outing against Kaizer Chiefs was quite something. Young Kegan Allen, he got an assist for Bongani Sam's winner as they have to deal with another ball in from Frosler. A bicycle kick assist, and then late in that game caught an elbow that had everyone watching on very, very worried. The defibrillator came onto the field, a couple ambulances. Eventually he was able to actually walk off himself, but for a moment there was a lot of anxiety.
That injury where there's an elbow, trust me, there's so much danger. I had a friend who was hit on the solar pads with an elbow, so that you can imagine how dangerous it can be.
That's a little too heavy for Sfiso Hlanti. Kenan Phillips will take the resultant throw. He, along with Bongani Sam and Daniel Akpe, now starting for the 11th time this season in the league for Swallows. So they have begun every single DStv Premiership match. Interestingly, for Kaizer Chiefs, the absence of Ditlokwe, as well as Edson Castillo, who's on the bench today, means that Yusuf Mart is the only player in the squad who has now started every single league match so far this season, the man who captains the side today. Jali cushions it forward for Makubela.
Hey.
Hlanti. It's closed down swiftly by Mabasa. Rather aimless ball forwards. Retrieved by Allen.
I like how his game has matured. He's played attacks. I've seen him play right back. He plays centre back.
Oh, he had to stretch for that. Tedandile Jali. And he presented an opportunity to Nkosipile Ngobo. Tried to take it on first time with Daniel Akpe off his line, and not able to make the kind of connection that he wanted.
How does that happen? Well, give credit to Chiefs. The pressure was on.
Yeah, a slightly loose pass from Sabir.
There are 2 jerseys. We should have punished such mistakes. This sort of mistakes.
Well, he hasn't scored for almost 2 years. Has Bon, of course, over that period has suffered with injury. But last goal coming in a 2-0 win against Maritzburg in December of 2021. Yeah, I don't think you can really find Andile Jali at too much fault because the pass wasn't accurate enough.
He wasn't even ready for it.
Yeah.
But it's this sort of mistakes which you punish. And I've seen teams, Sundowns are the ones that normally punish such mistakes with some seriousness in terms of making sure that they register their presence, particularly any stages of the game.
So what can they do from the free kick? Delivered in by Ngobo. Touch off the head of Ed Milson, and it's just wide of the mark.
They've had their chances. Drilled in, tricky for defenders to deal with. To take a deflection along the way.
It's actually off the head of Phillips, yeah?
Yeah, it does.
Well, in their previous meeting, Kaizer Chiefs did get their goal against Swallows from a set piece. Mduduzi Shabalala was the man who delivered it in there, and Christian Saile managed to score. Saile on the park right now, Shabalala on the bench. There's Kegan Allen, a very composed player, but this time almost caught in possession. He's one of the reasons why Steve Kompela has been able to have his side building from the back, because of the ability that Allen does have. Comes from the school of Mamelodi Sundowns, of course. Ragativaviro threading it through, too much on it. Formodi was making the run in behind.
Well, building up to the game, pre-match interview, the coach was saying we're going to build from the backs. That's Steve Kompela saying we are going to continue to build from the back. But I think at some point, players, you need to adjust and see the situation. And fine, Barry, you can see they still want to build from the back. They're not going